Hello and welcome everyone to the PhotoBiz MasterClass. This is our very first event. I'm so excited to welcome you all here today. Our first class today will be about getting started and making a great website. So those are the things that we're going to focus on in developing your website and actually how to develop a very strong website that is not only profitable for you, but so people can find you online, and then we can make more marketable in general to your clients. So we're going to focus on building. We're going to focus on a lot of things through this entire program. But this one is about getting started. So we're going to focus on what getting started looks like and making a great website is. So I'm really excited to dive deep into this. Tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Jeremy Heiler. I'm the creative director for PhotoBiz, and I'm here because I love to build websites and I love to help businesses. I've been doing this for at least 6 years on the PhotoBiz side, but I have an extensive background in marketing, and that's one of my things I really find pleasure is helping businesses grow. So what are the goals of today's, the PhotoBiz MasterClass in general? So PhotoBiz MasterClass goals are to build a site in a few days. So my goal is to help you build a website in 3 days. And that's the focus on building the aspects that you need to make your website launch, and then also helping you have your products set up for selling through our proofing tools or our online store. And then you will also be able to focus on your marketing aspects, how to connect people from your social media back to your website, and how you can use your email marketing campaigns and other marketing tools that are built right into PhotoBiz to directly connect to the right customers. And then we'll just, those are the main goals of the thing. So why are we using PhotoBiz? Obviously, besides that we're PhotoBiz and we created this entire lovely platform for you, it's an all-in-one system. So everything you see built through the entire masterclass program is built using PhotoBiz. So that's the one thing. The other thing is easy to use. Everything's really drag and drop, very modular, very simple to use. It's low cost, and we have phone support. That's a big caveat for a lot of businesses. You don't have time to looking through tons and tons of resources. We have those there if you need them, but you can always call us. And that's the biggest benefit to you as a customer with PhotoBiz. So if you're brand new today and you're joining us and you've never built with PhotoBiz, this will be your chance to learn all about the products and how it can affect your business. And maybe if you're already an existing client, maybe you haven't dived deep into all the tools that you have with PhotoBiz. This is a chance to learn all about that stuff too. So let's go ahead and just dive right in about building websites in general. So websites should be easy. I think that's one thing a lot of people want to explain to you, that websites should be simple enough to design and get on your own. But sometimes that's not the case for everyone. Not everyone's a web designer. You might be really good at taking photos. You might be really good at, editing photos and using Photoshops and other tools like that. But websites are a completely different animal. Some people with graphic design backgrounds, maybe not translate it to web, and vice versa. So you need to think about those types of tool sets that you need. So we've developed a platform that's drag and drop to make it simple, and we've built in systems such as our templates and pages already set up, designed for you. So everything is already there for you, so you don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting. So here are the 5 things you need to do when you're building a website to make it simple and easy for yourself. Pick a template, which we'll walk through today. Plan your pages. Choose your images. Your most beautiful images should showcase on the website. Put in great text. I know some of us aren't writers, but those are things that we need to focus on. Putting great text that can be searchable, but also shows that you have something to say. And lets people buy, book you, or get in touch with you. And don't overthink it. Here's the thing about websites. Everything's digital. So you can change as you go. You can add as you go. You can remove something later down the line if you don't like it. It's not permanent. So you can change stuff as you go. So, step number 1, let's choose a template. A template makes it easy to build a great website fast. So, this is the thing. You could build things from scratch if you want to. You can hire designers if you need to. But here's the thing. If you want to have control over your website, having a template is very, very convenient because everything's pretty much already set up for you if you are choosing the right sources to pull from. So, if you use something like PhotoBiz, you're going to have templates that you can choose from, and you can change on with one click if you want to change it down the line. So those are really powerful things that you can have, so you can keep your website looking fresh and new as you grow. So key features you want to look into when you're choosing a template. You want to make sure it's fast loading. You want to make sure it's mobile responsive, easy to build on, that something's beautiful that can make your work really stand out, and it's reliable. So let's talk about some of these key features. Fast loading. Why is fast loading important? Fast loading is important not only for search results. Google likes to have websites that load fast, and it gives those websites a little bit more gravity. So it's like, okay, this website loads fast, so it's important. So let me make sure it gets seen more. So when you talk about ranking and stuff like that, Google likes fast loading websites. Another thing is your users like fast loading websites. Did you know that almost 80% of people leave if a website doesn't load in 3.2 seconds? It's incredible. We've gotten so used to things being so fast that any delay, something feels wrong, something feels broken. You want to make sure you have those features built right into your website that's fast and it's ready. And the next big thing is mobile responsive. More people search on mobile phones nowadays for not only just purchasing, but just in general. I mean, we are all dedicated to website platforms and other social media platforms at all times. Desktops are becoming a thing of, if you go do something, that's what I call the research mode. People usually use desktops if they're at their business or if they're really, really trying to search for something that maybe it's a little inconvenient on the phone. But phones have made things so convenient that people just expect things to be fast and it works. So having your website responsive is key. One key feature about PhotoBiz is I have something like I like to call magically mobile design. So you design it on desktop, you make it look beautiful, and then it magically responds. And all those blocks that would normally be, maybe side by side in a horizontal, stack vertically and stuff like that. So you only have to design it once. Other platforms, you have to design it twice sometimes, and that can be very inconvenient and just time consuming. That's something that you don't really need to do. We try to make it as fast and simple as possible. And make sure it's easy to build on. I like to say that our website builder is kind of like building with Legos. You kind of just stack and add things where you want them to go, and you kind of make it your own. It's all module based. And when I mean by module, it means is like you pick a block, a specific type of block. If it's something for forms or a banner, you stack it, and then you just kind of move them around how you want to till you get a desired look that you like. And then another key feature is having a template that's beautiful. One thing that I really like about our system is as soon as you get a template, it'll load in what the main core design is, and then you can modify it if you want to. But you don't have to. That's the main thing. Everything's already built for you to already look beautiful. We have in-house designers who are going through and making sure that everything looks beautiful so you don't have to. There's other website builders out there, such as like Wix, where they'll say you can build a website, but if you don't have an eye for design, it can start to look cramped or not even designed well. It can just look amateurish, especially if you look at the mobile responsiveness of some of those websites. So take a look at that if you've used something like Wix or anything like that in the past, and just notice that everything's a sandbox with those systems. But I like to say ours is a true sandbox because there's actual parameters around it. Our designers built a framework that you can work within, so when you try to go outside of bounds, you're restricted from it because guess what? We're still trying to make sure you look good. Some of those other sandbox builders don't really give you any of those limitations or restrictions, so you can design something and it cannot look very good at the end of the day. And reliability. Another huge thing about reliability is making sure that it works constantly. We have a 99.98% up rate for over the last 16 years with our systems. We're barely down. If we're down, we let you know, and it's mostly because we're making some modifications to improve the systems. We're always trying to make our product better and load faster for you. One of our big things that we did the previous year was we created our system to be one of the fastest loading websites on Earth. Websites load fast, they get higher grades, they give you better performance on Google. And that's the thing that we want to make sure is that you guys are fast loading, that you are mobile responsive, that it's easy to build with, that you look beautiful, and you have someone to rely on. And at the end of the day, reliability goes beyond just having servers. We have that support system, so you can call us. We have our PhotoBiz assistant down in the right corner. You'll see this orange icon. Click on that. You'll see tutorials and other types of support there that you can easily access anytime you want. So the main thing when you're choosing a template, don't get lost in finding a template based on your photography style. I think a lot of people kind of like, I don't see this photography, this template working for me because this doesn't look like me. Everything is transformative, so you can change it to meet your needs. And what do I mean by that? Let's take a look at this. This is the same work in 4 different templates that I clicked to change just one click. So you can see what it looks like in different variations. You have something that's big and bold on the left, something a little bit more modern into the middle, more compact on the next middle one, and then you have the side banner one. So you have options. You can click and change and modify things how you want to. It's very simple, very easily to modify, to change the things. And look how the menu items are stacked. They're different in different ways, but they all convey different stories. So don't get hung up on different types of like, oh, this template doesn't read for me or not. Everything can be modified to fit your needs, to fit your look as a business. I mean, even the colors at the bottom of the footers, they change, but they all feel organic to the actual template and the photography on there. You can modify those quickly how you want to. So think about, how you want your menu at the end of the day. Where do you want your, logo to hang out? Those are the things that you want to think about when you're choosing a template versus, I don't know if this reads for me. Because guess what? All these blocks can change. You can modify the organization of it. And that's something that's really, really nice. So what do you need to do? Again, we need to look at where the logo and menu are placed. So that's where the big focus is. Check and see how that is in the actual template that you're choosing, because those are the main things that can't change. Everything else can be manipulated. Simple layouts work best. Don't go complicated. A lot of people think they need to have sliding banners, they need to have animations and stuff like that. That just bogs down your website speed, but also makes sure customers wait longer just to get to the point. They just want to find out information about you. And making sure that it's easy and organized is the best. So think like your clients. What do you want to do when you come to a website? Do you want to have to go through the whole gravitas of like, okay, one image loading here, this section now loads, it fades in, and then when you scroll down and you scroll back up, now it fades out and then fades back in. Think like how you want to get the information, and think like how your clients want it. They want it clean and simple. They just want to be able to see your work, understand more about you, and connect with you as soon as possible. That's it. Make it simple, guys. Get inspiration from other websites you love. Hey, if you're building a website, see what other people are doing. If there's got to be something out there you're like, ooh, I like this. Check it out, see what you can do, and get inspired by that. A lot of people in a lot of different types of industries do different types of work, so that's something you can look at and say, hey, I really like that. You know what website I like? I like simple websites. I like the Apple website. Super easy to navigate, tells you about their products. Think about that when you're looking at other ways to be inspired. Maybe there's a photographer that shoots similar to you, or one that doesn't shoot like you at all, but you just love the website in general. Think about how you can apply that to your own business. What can you change? What can inspire you to make your business stand out just like that stood out to you? And at the end of the day, don't overthink it. Just start building. See, here's the thing. You can go ahead and choose your template, and it loads in all these pages for you with all these placeholders that you can easily click and remove and put in your own work. And we have placeholder text that just says, hey, I'm a cool text block. Remove all that text. Add your own text. But here's the thing. We're going to talk about this in our next program about core pages. You can start with pages and build on top of other ones. You don't have to have everything done right away. And I think that's a big problem for a lot of people who are starting to build websites, but also just people in general. They think they have to have everything done and organized before they can even do anything, which eventually means they'll either abandon their project or get too busy for it. Don't overthink it. Just start building. Start slow. Think about your home page. Think about your about page, a gallery page, and a contact page. That's it. Those are the things that you need to get on your website sooner than anything else. Everything else will come with it, right? So don't overthink it. And another great thing, again, like I showed in the previous slide, I changed all these templates with one click. It's the same template, changed into another one, changed into another one, changed into another one. One click. You can modify your look anytime you want. Make it a rich experience for yourself, and without having to do a lot of heavy lifting, rebuilding it over and over again. So think about that, guys. Okay, part two. Okay, part two, plan your pages. A website with a plan is focused on your true goal. So, question, what is my true goal? What is your true goal? What do you want your website to be able to do? I'll give you a second to think about that. Okay, seconds up. What is your true goal? Your answer should be to get customers and make money. If it's anything other than that, maybe you have some different ideas, but at the end of the day, most people want to be making money. You want to be getting your sessions sold. You want to be making those sales. That's the importance for most photographers, is selling your prints, selling digitals, just in general selling to your customers and growing your customer list. So ask yourself, what do I need to see to buy or get in touch? What do I need my customers to see? Well, think about that. So if you're a restaurant, so we're going to talk about other types of industries. If you're a restaurant, what do you want to do? You want to get customers, you want to make money. Photographers, you create sessions, you sell products, you make money. Public speakers, they want people to book events with them. They want to go to places, they want to speak, they want to do virtual events. But at the end of the day, they want to make money. In yoga studios, they need to fill up their classes. They need to make sure people are coming to their events so they can make money. So every business has one primary focus, and at the end of the day, it's to be profitable. So how are you profitable with your business? What do you need to? As photographers, again, you need to create these sessions, sell products, have all these things set up. Mini sessions are incredible. Those types of things. If you want those live on your website, you can have those things. So a photographer's goal, get clients to contact and book your services, render your services, sell products, digital or physical ones, make the client satisfied, and at the end of everything, you want them to leave you a review, refer someone to you, and then repeat. One customer is not just the customer once in their lifetime for you. As a photographer, they can always be a customer, but you also want them to be able to tell other people about you. So get them to review you, get them to refer to you, and just keep repeating this cycle. That's how you're going to stay in business. This is how you keep your goals going. So, and you can do all this through your website. Everything's a digital way of processing all this. So, hey, when they're done, send them a link to a review that'll go on Google or on your website or on Facebook. Those are the primary places we tell people to put reviews, because that's where people are going to be going the most. Over 90% of the internet searches with Google. Okay, so think about, is it important to have your review there? Yes. Next, they're going to come to your website. They're going to see testimonials probably. Have something there for them to at least rely on as, okay, you're trustworthy, I believe in you. And just keep that cycle going. Get others to let them know that they can keep doing this and that they can keep driving business towards you. So, some page tips. Let's start with the basic ones. These are what I like to call the core pages: your home, about, and contact. You can do everything you need with 3 to 7 pages total through a website, especially for a photographer. What are those pages? Again, there's your home, about, and contact, then a beautiful gallery, then a testimonial, or even a services page. And that's it. You can go deeper if you need to, but most people don't. That's all you really need to get your website going, to tell people what you do, and to book with them. One is better than none. Again, I say always start with something and build on top of it. You can hide the other pages while you build the one page that you want to be the home page. That way you don't everything's not complete. No, you can show it this way. You can hide those pages through the builder, and then you can build on top of that page until it's complete, and then start working on the other pages. It's okay to start basic and grow from there. Again, I think a lot of people get hesitant thinking they have to have all their things planned out, all their words perfect. You don't. And I think that's the biggest thing to take away from this is take your time, build how you want to, and make it make sense for you. Don't overdo it, because you won't even do it if you overdo it, if that makes sense. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to think that we got to have everything done and perfect, but everything can be changed. It's digital, guys. Great thing about PhotoBiz, our templates come with pre-built pages. So everything that you see on the templates, they're already preloaded on there to be already this construct of those 7 pages, those layouts. So we've already got everything in place for you. You just need to change those things, change the images, change the text, and that's it. Don't have to go beyond that if you don't want to. You can always grow it if you need more, but don't make it harder on yourself. 3, pick your pictures. People shop with their eyes. Show your business at its best. You as photographers should know this better than anyone. Your best work should be loaded up every single time someone sees there. So if you haven't changed your photos or uploaded photos in over 3 to 5 years, am I really seeing your best work? Be consistent. Make sure you're showing your greatest stuff. Our brains process images 60,000 times faster than reading. That's true. Immediately, we're visual people. The first thing we do is we go right into looking for, something visually stimulating, So make sure you have something that's incredible to look at. I talk about it with like people who design websites for restaurateurs. I want to eat with my eyes. So show me that burger. Show me that sushi roll. Show me this steak. I want to see those things when I land on the page. I don't want to read just the menu. I want to eat with my eyes. I want to see it on the page. I think a lot of countries like Japan, they have this thing where you can go in any restaurant and they have a wax version of what the food looks like. And guess what? It looks like that when it comes out. That's what I'm there for. I'm like, I want to be able to point at something and say, ooh, I want that. Everyone's brain processes this way. So make sure you have beautiful images that really tell the story, to tell who you are as an artist. Make sure it's visible there on the page. So images, how should you use them? Pick 5 to 10 to represent your core look. And I'm talking about, on your core pages, make sure, you have, especially on your homepage, at least 5 to 10 images that represent your business. Only use your great recent photos. Nothing that's too small or pixelated. Some people like to upload or keep photos that they've uploaded years ago because they really like them. That's great, but re-upload a high-res one if you're going to do it. But I'd rather you show me something you've done recently. That way I can see that either your style is consistent with the look of how things look now, because even photography trends change over time. Remember, blowed out looks, HDR effects, things like that in the last decade. Look how quickly that's changed again. Now we're going into more, very soft looks. I would even almost say Instagram worthy is kind of where we're at these days. We want something that's always popping. Off-camera lighting, things like that are very into these days. Make sure you're showing that and representing your style. We want to see that. We want to make sure that we're seeing your most recent content. Bigger is better, especially for banners. And you can manipulate the banners how you want to. I like the full bleeding edge banners, but then we have mobile options where you can show verticals. So think about that when you're going in there. You're like, okay, here's how I want it to look on desktop, but the mobile version I want it to display this way or display this image. You can make those changes fairly quick, very easy. And for your galleries, no more than 30 images or at least 10 per info page. So what am I talking about for galleries? Have you been to a gallery where you've seen like over 1,000 photos in one single gallery? I have. Working in this business, I've seen so many photographers put everything out there. And that's great. You want to show off your work. I understand. But 1,000 images for a customer to digest is a lot. It's a lot to process. So think about 30 to 50 images that really tell your story, that are most recent, that you love. What are your favorite photos? Every 1,000 of those photos are your favorite? I don't think they are. You just want to put them on there because you want to see if everyone, ooh, this is the one I want. Oh, I want something like that. I get that. But you can tell a story. I can be sold as a customer with 30 great images. So make sure that your galleries have a purpose. 30 to 50 images is all you need. That's all you need. And for info pages, up to 10. We want to make this digestible. If it's just a wall of text, people, kind of tune out. Break it up with images. Give people something visual. Again, it's like the menu I was talking about for restaurant websites. Make sure people have something to kind of go with that so it feels natural. And your website should only show your best work. So change it often. If you haven't updated images in 2 to 3 years, your style might change. We want to see those changes. We want to see the evolution of you as a business. We want to see that growth. And it'll feel newer each time you do it. So let's look at the difference. I've seen some people upload photos from their Instagram, from their camera phones directly to their websites. You don't want that on your website. You don't want to showcase that. You want to show your most polished work. And as a photographer, I'm hoping you're choosing those decisions. But sometimes I see it with photographers. They'll even upload something low res or pixelated and expect, I don't understand why this photo doesn't look so great blown up to the entire screen. Well, if you shot off a phone, those phones, they're great, but they're not perfect. So make sure you're showcasing your best work. Which one are you going to buy from? Are you going to buy this pixelated low-res shot of a shoe, or are you going to shoot one that's, you're going to select one that's going to have properly lighting on a white backdrop that is exposed properly? Think about those selections when you're looking at, your own products that you're trying to sell, but also just in general your photos. You want to make sure your best is seen there, okay? 4, we're going to focus on your words. You need them. And as a photographer, I know you guys probably are terrified to write. Trust me, it's a huge thing that you need for your website, not only for yourself, for people to understand who you are, but for search in general. Words are very important. So let's talk about it. So some writing tips. You need words for SEO and humans. Yeah. Again, I just phrased it a little bit. You need these words for, when people are searching for you online. They're looking for things. They're looking for keywords, descriptions. They're looking for, photographer in my area. And what is your area? I need to know. I don't know where you're located at. But if you don't ever tell them where you are, how do they know that you're being pulled up the proper way? Google only is so smart, and it's learning, and it's trying to get smarter. And humans, they need something to read. You don't want them to just see an image, because they'll just get to the page and be like, okay, cool. You want them to process something. And telling a story is just as important with the images, okay? If you're scared to write, or aren't even, or if you're hesitant with your own writing, your grammar, or anything like that, guess what? There's tons of tools out there. And you can always ask a friend to look over your work, another professional to look over your work, or you can even hire writers. Writers are affordable, because guess what? They need to write, and they want to write, because writing's important, but it's a profession that sometimes gets overlooked because people don't think about how important writing is to work. So there's tons of things you can look out there. There's tons of writing tools out there like Grammarly that can help you if you have tons and tons of grammar issues or anything like that. My thing is, I write a lot of the content for the websites and for the PhotoBiz blog and the Growth Hub stuff. I need an editor. That's my thing, is I write a lot, and my grammar's fine, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure that it's professional and clean enough so you guys can understand. So I need someone to look over my work and say, hey, you don't need this. You need someone like that in your life too. So look for it if you can. Write simply and clearly. Get to the point. I think some people go a little too much into the storytelling aspects of like who they are, and sometimes people don't really want to know every single detail about you. If they are, they're going to put that on a single page. You don't have to put that on every single page. You don't have to write so fluffily out there for your customers. Leave that to your About page. That's a great area where they can learn about you, your personality, and what drives you. For your homepage and other pages, get direct to the point, where you're located at and why they should choose you. Make those the important reasons why. And shoot for 200 plus words per page. And now, I know that sounds like a lot, and I'm going to break it down in an image next so you can see what it looks like. But 200 words are very vital, not only just for search, but that also just makes it look robust. And there's ways you can design your website to make it look like 200 words, but not really. Make it skimmable. The important thing is your headlines. You want to make your headlines punchy, pop out. So when people see it, they're like, ooh, I want to learn about what this means. And at the end of the day, please use spell check. Again, I mentioned Grammarly, but I usually write my stuff in stuff like Grammarly or Google Docs. They have a bunch of spell check tools built right in there. And then when I'm ready, I put it into my website or my blog or whatever I'm writing in general. So make sure you're there to make sure everything sounds good. So this is what 200 words can look like if you change it how it's designed. Now let's take a look at this barbershop on the left. They decided to break it up with images, these little bulleted points, and you can see how it's structured. That's what 200 words can look like. Or you can do something like the SPCA did, where they just wanted a single image, a headline, and then a dialogue box, a couple paragraphs. So that's 200 words. They're all designed differently. Each of them have different ways to engage. Each of them are doing something different. One is talking about a process. The other one is talking about the reasons why. So think about that when you're building your website. What do you want your story to be? How do you want to tell it? And look, 200 words isn't that bad, guys. A couple paragraphs. I know you got it in you. Next, number 5, sell and get customers. Make a way to buy, book, or get in touch online. You need to make sure people can do these things. As a photographer, you want people to buy from you. You need them to book your services. You just need them to get in contact with you in general. So it's goal time. Remember your goal? What was your goal? To make money. Now it's time to give people a way to buy your stuff, contact you, book you or services, or otherwise, just get paid. So let's hook up your website. The great thing about PhotoBiz is it's an all-in-one platform. So you have these tools built right into your platform, into your website when you sign up. So you need contact forms, you got them. You need to take digital payments through a form, you can. You need to set up an online store, you can do that. You need to sell something through proofing, through a digital gallery, you can do all those things. And then you want people to book time with you, you have a scheduler built in. And all those things are built to go ahead and take payments if you want to. You can make them take payments, or they can take payments later. It's up to you how you want it designed. So add a contact form to get visitors to get in touch with you. You want them to touch base with you as soon as possible. So make sure you have a contact page with a form on there. Set up a store to sell your products for downloads and other types of memberships. So if you're trying to do anything, you're trying to sell digital books, trying to sell digital, PSDs files or After Effects tutorials or anything like that you might be trying to sell to people, you can put all those things and digitally store them here and sell them those digitals. And then setting up, your proofing aspects. You want to make sure that people can, buy your digitals. They can buy them in bulk if you want, or your products, your services, and packages in general. All that can be set up to the back end of here, and then distributed through the proofing tool. Create order forms. Maybe you're doing something customized for some people. You can build custom forms on here. You can also create mini session forms that are easy, so you can have them right through the day, take payments directly on them the day before they even come. So those are the types of things that you can do. And then for scheduling, you can schedule times through your scheduler, and you can take payments if you want to, or prepayments at least, so they don't know, you're booking your time. You set up cancellation fees and stuff like that. It's up to you how you want it organized. But hook up your system, make sure it can do all these things, that it can gather all this information, all this data to take payments at the end of the day. So the big thing about our e-commerce, PhotoBiz doesn't take any fees. I know that's kind of crazy to hear these days. A lot of platforms, take at least 3% when I'm looking at stuff like Square or looking at stuff like Shopify and stuff like that. So when you're looking at how you want to sell your products, you can do it directly through us. You can sell direct market to your customers. Set up your products, connect a merchant, and start selling online. The only thing that comes out is the merchant fee. So whatever merchant that you connect to, PayPal, Square, iTransact, Stripe, any of those are the only ones that are getting a fee. So everything is through them. So any payment is through directly them. We just kind of act as a conduit to get you to the payment process. So everything is all in one website, the store, and proofing all connect that way. It's really incredible. Something that a lot of people ask about is, do I put pricing on the page? We did a poll last year. Over 70% of photographers said they put prices on the page. Now, does that mean you put everything out there, like every single a la carte thing that you might provide? You don't have to do it that way. But I want you to be understanding that there's a big idea out there in the world that maybe I shouldn't put pricing on there. But studies have shown that if there is some type of pricing on there, you'll weed out customers that aren't fit for your business, but you'll also engage with customers who are interested in those services. So I say, yes, put some type of pricing on there, but I say put maybe a starting or session price on there, not your entire price list. I think that's just a great way to do it. And then you can always send them your personalized pricing list once they're kind of, connected to you and you're ready to be a customer. Those are when you can send all the little, like, this is how much this print is, this is how much this is. So think about that. So is it okay to put pricing on your page? Over 70% would say yes. So if that's really up to you, I say put some starting fees out there. I think it's a great way to showcase that you're a serious business and they won't get slapped with a sticker surprise. I think a lot of people who run into this issue are IPS people. I've seen a couple people who are like, their customers are like, I thought it was only going to cost $250 for everything. Well, yes, the session price is, but the actual products aren't. And people get a little dumbfounded. And I don't want photographers to run into that issue. So make sure that it's clear and make sure people understand that, yes, these are starting fees, or this is a sitting fee or something like that. Use call to actions, buttons that will lead customers to a conversion destination. So what does that mean? A call to action is a button at the end of the day. You're telling them you want them to do something. They've read this story. Now what's next? So we want them to either learn more, purchase, book. Those are the main goals. Don't be afraid to ask what you want to happen next in that button. I think a lot of people just tend to just say, click here. No, let's think about it. What do you want this to happen? Book my session. Book my my services today. Let people know that they can do this. Make your contact and info easy to find. A lot of people hide their contact page, surprisingly. You'd be shocked. I've seen a lot of websites this year. I've been doing website reviews pretty much every week for the last year, and I'm shocked of how many people hide their contact information or can't find out where they're actually located at. It's very, very buried. Now, thinking about that through a Google aspect or even your customer aspect, what if I land on this page and I'm like, oh, I really want this photos, but I'm in North Carolina and this photographer's in Los Angeles. I had no idea until I just kind of stumbled across like a blurb, a line that was kind of hidden on the page. Make it clear where you are. Make it easy to access. And make it easy for people to touch base with you. Have that contact link in your menu. Make it incredibly easy for your customer. Don't make it a challenge. And for each page, don't have a dead end. I tell people, make your pages very targeted. So that means having call to actions. That means having maybe a form at the bottom. Always give them the option to touch base with you whenever possible. Because guess what? People, if they're looking at your menu, they go down from left to right. That's just kind of how commonly we are. That's how we read books and everything from a Western perspective. So they go left to right. But guess what? As they get lower down the list, the less they click. So you'll see that your home page is probably the most clicked thing, obviously, or then your next page after that. But then it starts to dwindle as it goes. So make sure you have the ability to be contacted directly through it as soon as possible. I say add a form whenever you can, or at least a call to action to drive people to your form. No dead ends. Ta-da! You built a website. So that's the core thing that you're going to be talking about. We're going to be looking at those are the things that you need to make sure to make your website profitable. 200 words. We want that on the page, and then setting up everything else and making people be able to touch base with you. That's the main core of it all. Is getting people to contact you so you're profitable. You've launched it, and now you can get customers and share it across the world. That's the end of the goal. But let's talk about the other big things that people ask about. It's a core thing to websites in general. It's SEO. So how do you make your website discoverable? And now I'm going to talk about some basics, but these things are applicable for any business. So people might not know about this. I saw in a photography group the other day, someone was asking, should they even have a Google review page? How could you not want to have a Google review page? Are you worried about the negative context that you're going to get? Or you just, never really thought about it. So let's talk about this. How to make SEO work easy for you. You got 4 steps. Get a Google My Business page if you haven't already. Make your pages more searchable by making sure the metadata and descriptions are set up right. Get reviews. Reviews drives up interest. It also makes Google think this is a real business. I need to really showcase it more. And last but not least, one of the most overlooked or not wanting to be done by photographers is blogging. Blogging is an incredible way to make your net bigger when you cast it out to get more people to search for you. So let's talk about it. Google My Business. You can go here, googlemybusiness.com/business. Setup one is free. And what this does is it gives you kind of like a head start for your business on Google searchability. Have you ever just said photographers near me in Google search? What does it pull up? Does it pull up competitors of yours? More than likely. The way this Google algorithm works, it knows where you're located at. So if you're in the heart of your downtown area and you search Google, photographers near me, it's looking within 25 to 50 mile radiuses, pulling up all the data that it can find about photographers. Because people, as they get more into it, people search based on near me more than a location. But that location is important to have for people searching in general. But know that near me is more based on location of actual where they are at the time when they say it, versus, Louisiana or anything like that. But that's important to have in that context because it's searching no matter what businesses in those areas. So if you are a photographer in Louisiana and someone's typing photographer near me, it knows that you're listed as a Louisiana photographer. So make sure that you're there proper. It's free, set it up. It's where your reviews live. It's where your information about your business can live, location information, everything. It's really nice because it's a great way to kind of get you on page one when someone's searching near me. And guess what? You're going to show up if you're listed properly. So if you're not on page one yet organically, this is a great way to kind of quote unquote cheat the system in a way, right? You'll get there and you'll be like, hey, I'm up here. You might not have any reviews or anything there yet, but you'll be on that map. And that's the most important thing, is being there, right? Make your pages searchable. So what we talk about that is on the back end, you can add meta descriptions, your page title, and just in your meta keywords. There's some real important things you need to understand about that, though. You can't go overboard. I think some people think they can, the more you add, the more beneficial it is. Actually, Google has its AI searching constantly for something that feels less organic. Surprisingly, and I'll talk more about it when we get to blogging it, but Google AI is trying to be smarter so it can be more human. So it knows when you try to cheat. So here's some things that we can look at to improve your system. So for your page title, the optimal is 55 to 60 characters for your page titles. So what's an example look like? We have one right here. Jenny Jones Wedding Photography, Greater Los Angeles area. That's it. That's all you need for your page title. That's as many characters as you need. Then we go into descriptions. This is where you can go a little bit more in depth, but you still have restrictions up to an optimal of 50 to 155 characters. The more you write, Google penalizes you. So think about that, okay? So here's an example of that. Jenny Jones is a PPA certified photographer who has specialized in wedding and engagement photography for over 5 years, serving the greater Los Angeles area. So what else did we learn about her? She's a PPA certified photographer now. Not just a wedding photographer, but a PPA certified one that specializes in wedding and also engagement over 5 years. So we've got more deeper details at the end of the day about her. And next is meta keywords. Keywords are phrases and unique ones that you separate with commas when you're putting in the back end, and it makes your relevant content searchable. So, you should use no more than 15 keywords per page to avoid being penalized by search engines. So examples of that would be like Jenny Jones wedding photography, Los Angeles wedding photography, Los Angeles wedding portraits, and so on. So think about that. You can only really use up to 15 keywords per page. So what are the things that you're trying to be found for? Do you just want to put Jenny Jones? No, you want to put Jenny Jones wedding photography, Los Angeles wedding photographer, Los Angeles wedding portraits, Los Angeles engagement portraits, etc., etc., up to 15. If you go over that, that's when you start to get penalized. So think about these things when you're putting in your own search terms, your own SEO. Look at what you've done in the past. Is it effective for you? Is it not? And then some people try to stuff this information on the pages that are visible. No, put this all in the back end. Make this invisible. No one wants to read Jenny Jones wedding photographer, Los Angeles wedding photographer, Los Angeles wedding photographer in the greater area of Los Angeles. It starts to sound robotic and inorganic. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit about how Google looks at your page. So, get reviews. Once you get your Google My Business page set up, go back and get reviews. If you have current clients, send them there to review you. If you have past clients, send them there to review you. If you had a great experience, have them touch base with you and show your reviews on here, because this is going to be your best tool. People search and look immediately at reviews and quantify if you're good or not for their business. So add review buttons on your pages when possible. To direct them directly to your Google page. Contact those previous clients. Send them a link. You can email them a Google or Facebook link. And always respond to negative reviews. I know this might sound, like what? Really? If they're only seeing one side of the story, other customers are only seeing one side of the story. So we need to make sure you get out there and you tell your side. Let people understand, like, if they've had a negative experience, maybe they weren't feeling good that day. Maybe something didn't go right that day. Or maybe it's just there's people out there who like to, troll other businesses. You want other people to see how you respond. If you respond clearly and professional enough, it's the way you dictate the story better. Don't let someone control your business with a negative review, because it can hurt. So make sure you always respond to it, and make sure that's a clear answer, and make sure your other customers understand that if they ask about it. Okay, let's talk about blogging. Blogging is a great way to show new content, to show that you're still current. First of all, it shows that you're constantly doing something. So if the last time I saw you blog was in 2017, I might think your business is done. You haven't updated anything since. Maybe the rest of the stuff on this website hasn't been updated since. So having a consistent blog, at least 1 to 3 a month, if possible, is incredible. Because what's that going to do? It's going to help with your search. It also gives you great content that you can share on your social media channels. When you put it on social media, it links back to your website. Google loves that, because when people click over to your website, it basically starts a stopwatch to see how long people stay on pages, how long they're actually on your site in general. And the more engaging your content is, Google starts to think, this website must be pretty good. Let me put it up higher. I want more eyes on this. It must be good. That's what it's saying. Google wants to show good stuff. It doesn't want to show the worst content out there. It wants to show really engaging stuff. So if your stuff's able to do that organically through your social media channels, you're going to see your ranks go up better. And write like a human would. So I think a lot of people, like I was talking about earlier, you'll see web pages where, hi, my name is Jenny Jones Photography. I work in the greater Los Angeles area as a wedding photographer. I like wedding photography because I love to shoot weddings in the Los Angeles area. You can just see this monotone like voice kind of keep saying the same thing over and over again, or like, I serve these areas, and it's just kind of constantly floated through the page. Google doesn't like that. That was a tactic that was used over a decade ago, but now Google actually penalizes you for that type of content, because at the end of the day, you should be writing like a human, because Google wants to actually be more human. I know that sounds kind of scary, but at the end of the day, it's algorithms trying to understand how speech patterns work, how people talk about details. So when you put in something that feels like a spreadsheet, it starts to understand this is mechanical, this is artificial, this is fake, this is cheating. And it doesn't want that. It wants to understand stories. It wants to be able to read books. It wants to be able to read like you. So write often. I said 1 to 3. If you can do 1 to 2, that's great as well. But at least having those blogs that you can share on your social media channels to drive people back to you, is going to be really great. That content is really going to show that your website's richer in general. Because at the end of the day, if you can get them off Facebook or Instagram or anything like that to your website, it's focused on you. No longer are they being distracted by other people's posts. They're only focused on your content. And then they can make a different type of decision when they're only looking at your work. Because now they can choose if they want to buy, learn more, see your other work. And then that's where they can put like, I really like what you're doing, Jenny. I like what you're doing. I think I might come back to you. That's what you want at the end of the day. So in summary about some SEO, if you don't know much about it, you're going to learn more about it as we go. We have our SEO day where we'll talk about some do's and don'ts. But briefly, what did I say? Google loves words. Put text on every page. Use your keywords, but you make sure you're doing it properly. Don't get penalized. Write for humans. Again, you don't want to be penalized by the Google artificial intelligence. We want to make sure that you sound great to no matter who's reading it. Blog. Blogging is an incredible tool, because what it does is it gives you more pages on your website without having tons of pages, if that makes sense. All these articles will link there, and it's just going to keep casting more nets. If you only have one page on your website, you only have one fishing rod. But if you have multiple pages, then you're extending it out into a net, and then you're making your net even bigger if you have more articles and blogs that you've written. Just think about you're casting larger nets for the internet. So don't just have one page and think, oh, that's all I need for a website. You're making it hard because there's billions of websites out there, and you relying on one single page to do it all. Don't. Make sure you have the right amount of stuff out there and blog to grow your net bigger. Use call to actions and buttons. Don't have dead ends. Let people, Drive them where you want them to go to. You want them to book with you, have it on the page. You want them to contact you, have them on the page. You want them to view your gallery, have it on the page. Drive them where you go. You are in control of their destinations. So don't have a dead end at the end, because otherwise, where are they going to go? Nowhere. They'll leave. And make sure your metadata and descriptions are written properly with the right amount of characters. You go over it, it can penalize you. So just do it, okay? So that's it for today. For this session, building with PhotoBiz, you'll get all these things. So if you don't know a lot about PhotoBiz, maybe you're new to us and you just want to learn more about websites in general, here's what you get with us. We're an all-in-one platform. So what does that mean? So you get forms, website builder, secure hosting, a commission-free store, a blog, a CRM, marketing, proofing, and a scheduler tool built all in one. Everything's here. You can spend that on any of the other ones. It would cost you tons. We try to give it to you as affordable as possible with everything under the sun. And at the end of the day, you have unlimited support. You can call us anytime. That's the biggest thing, is our support. Our passionate support team is here to help you navigate the murky waters of the internet. If you don't know how to, they can help you. It's incredible. 0% commission fees. Again, that's a thing you don't see often these days. The only thing that we charge you is your membership, and then your merchants will charge you on which merchant you use. But we don't take any extra money on top of that. Design services, we have a pro services team to assist you if you need extra lift. If you want someone to take your stuff to the next level, we have those resources there for you. We have logo design. We have a jumpstart program where we'll actually build your website, get the key components on there, and you can go live in no time. We have custom site design. If you need something even more richer, that's more unique to your business, we can design your website for that. And then we have dedicated managers when you need it. And those dedicated managers basically is the one person you call to if you need anything updated on your website. They'll make those updates for you. And then another huge component is our SEO Go program. Basically, we get you with our certified Google experts, and they'll help you come up with a game plan for your SEO and get you online, and it's a month-to-month thing. So they'll tell you what's working, what's not working. It's incredible. So again, we're very affordable, and again, we have the fastest speeds online. Our websites load faster than any other website system out there, at least 5 times faster than Squarespace and WordPress, and twice as fast as Wix. So those are the incredible types of things you're going to get with PhotoBiz when you're building with us. So take advantage of these while you can. And that's pretty much it. Have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. I'll review them when I can, and I'll get back to you with anything you want to learn more about websites. But that's the first class for today. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you learned a lot about what makes a great website. And now we're going to start talking about how to build it through the PhotoBiz Builder. So look forward to that class. You're actually going to see the back end. You're going to walk through you how to make these pages really fly for you. And then we'll come back after that and we'll talk about core pages and how to set it up as fast as possible so you're online. Thank you for joining me.